You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you by the state. We have all heard this phrase before, either on programs like CSI, Law and Order, or perhaps in a movie. Hopefully this is the only time we've heard this and not while taken into custody. But do we understand these rights? These rights that are so commonly heard that we take them for granted? Spin Love, the author of Terrorism Today, said that we live in a time of war and terrorism and that we're slowly losing our basic civil rights. And how can we protect something if we don't understand them? Well, I personally feel that we should be able to take a class in high school to learn about our Constitution, our civil rights, and or the justice system. But do not worry if you haven't taken any of these classes, because I will quickly inform you all about one of those rights, our Miranda rights. I will explain to you why they are needed, when they're not needed, and why they're becoming obsolete. Ernest Miranda was convicted in 1966 of armed robbery. The police had also a written confession of an attempted rape, assault, and burglary. The police had failed to inform him of his constitutional rights, the right to remain silent. This is clear in our Fifth Amendment. His attorney was able to appeal the court's decision because he was unaware of this right. So now we have the Miranda right. The police need to be limited on when and why and how they're asking questions because of the Fifth Amendment, which protect us from government abuse during legal procedures. This also goes hand in hand with witnesses. It also is their right not to answer any question. Most of you have heard, I plead the Fifth. Well, in other words, what they're saying is, I will refuse to answer this question because it's my constitutional right not to self-incriminate myself. All right, when is Miranda needed? It's needed prior to any questionings and when you're taken into custody. You need to be informed that you have the right to remain silent, that anything you say will be used as evidence in the court of law against you, that you have a right to an attorney, to have them suggest to you what is needed. If they do not, then you may, as Miranda, appeal this. When are Miranda rights not needed? Well, let's say traffic stops. Traffic stops are not deemed, do not fall into this category because they are deemed custodial and are for a short retention of time. There are many exceptions, however, to this, since one of them being if the police officer feels that he is in an immediate danger or public. This is called as the public safety exception. There's also if you are being held for very long periods of time, or if the person believes that he and she are not free to go. Okay, now are Miranda rights becoming a thing of the past? Yes, because of the media influence. Police have now begun to extensively train and use psychological ploys to encourage written confessions and have them waiver their rights. Magdalene also said that only 90% of convictions ever reach trial, so that's very significant. Now you know your basic Miranda rights. You understand that they are needed to be advised before any questioning, that you have a right to an attorney, and that they do not fall in all categories like traffic stops. You know the misconceptions to this, and so now I advise you to protect your right, because otherwise you will lose them. Thank you.